Welcome to Porto, Portugal. Located along the Douro River estuary in northern Portugal, Porto is one of the oldest European cities, and its centre was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1996. Porto offers as much cobbled street charm and dazzling ancient architecture as you'll find anywhere else in Europe. It's nestled in one of the world's leading wine regions, and yet it's still uncrowded and an affordable place to be. There is a lot to love about Porto, with the diversity of the city appealing to a wide range of visitors. Porto is also an excellent sailing destination, its Atlantic coast dotted with plenty of pleasures and treasures for sailors to discover. The legacy of Portugal's sailing history isn't hard to find, and those exploring with a boat will have plenty to keep themselves amused.
In Porto, as we can see, besides the atmosphere that is around here, that people will be, we are on the Atlantic here, so perfect conditions for sailing. I would say that Portugal, of course, is a seamanship country where we have everything and very good places to sail, from south to north, and here we are in Porto.
At night, Porto is the ultimate destination for sailors, who spent their days sailing and exploring the ocean, looking for a beautiful place to walk and relax. The city's historic atmosphere means Porto really shines under the moonlight.
It's on the Atlantic front, but you can have a mix of everything. You have great beaches all around, and then you come inside and you have the Douro, which is, for me, the most beautiful river in the world. You can have great wine experience, great hotel experiences, great underwater activities. It has a great history. The city has been around in the tourism panorama for a lot of times. We have been receiving a lot of international tourism awards. What we feel that we can give to people that come here is great hospitality, a great friendly environment. People are, I'm not talking about myself, but people are very, very nice, very friendly. They're willing to help in everything they do and they want to do. And I think that makes quite a unique set for people to come. And then for sure you have great food, which I'm sure you experience and everyone has experienced. You have nice people, you have a lot of different activities you can run.
The Finn Gold Cup returned to Portugal this year for only the third time in its 65-year history, with BBDouro and Douro Marina hosting the last major event before the Olympic Games in Tokyo. On both previous occasions Portugal hosted the Finn Gold Cup, it was held in Cascais. The 2021 Finn Gold Cup was organised by BBDouro and Douro Marina, with the support of the municipalities of Porto, Matosinhos and Vila Nova de Gaia. Here, the new world champion would be determined, as well as the final two places for the Olympics. There was still one European place and one African place to complete the fleet of 19 taking part in the Games.
The qualification makes it a lot more tricky for a lot of the competitors. I'm the only African entry at this event. I was hoping to have a few more to pace against. Also for me it's very important to get good results here to prove to my country that I'm competitive at the Games. That's sort of what my qualification relies on. So for me it's important to show a bit of speed here. So yeah, it's definitely on.
Everyone was expecting the competition for the final European place to be intense, with a large number of sailors challenging for it. However, the battle has narrowed over the past year, with several sailors forced to give up following the year-long postponement of the Olympics.
Yeah, so this event will be the last qualifying event for the Olympic Games. Obviously, Switzerland doesn't have a spot yet, so I'm going to try to get that last spot. The level is really high, so I expect a great battle for that spot.
We are here now in Porto for the Finn Gold Cup. Will be the best and main event for the qualification. Last chance for the qualification for Europe. We are here to try to qualify the country because it's the last chance to get the Olympic ticket for Europe. France is not selected yet, so I will have to really push and do a good championship to have a chance to be selected for the games in Tokyo next summer. I have some strong challengers around me. There is a lot of very good sailors. There is some young and some less young, like me. But we still are very focused and we will try to get the ticket.
There's actually only one ticket, but I think the key will be to finish top 3 probably in this regatta. Seems to be very difficult, especially with Joan Cardona, Neil Standing. These guys are sailing really good. They finished 3rd and 4th in the Europeans last month, and so the level is really high. Of course, there are more guys and everything can happen. It will be a really stressful regatta and pressure will come. But yes, it will be hard, but of course everybody has a chance, and I think it will be close at the end of the day.
In Douro Marina, we found one of the most legendary athletes in the world. Giles Scott is a 4-time Finn Gold Cup winner and won the gold medal for Team Great Britain in the Finn class at the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. Having dominated the class, Scott secured his place in the history books, winning the gold medal with a day to spare. Let's learn a little more about him.
I started sailing on a gravel pit in the Midlands in the UK. I grew up away from the seaside and just learned on a reservoir, small reservoir, in an Optimist dinghy. I suppose it's a passion. It's a way I earn a living. It's everything really. It's become all-encompassing, and I think it switches that way for a lot of us. It's like a bit of a drug. You get addicted to it. One of the reasons why I love the sport so much is that no day is the same. I've been sailing Finns now for 12 years, and I sail lots of different types of boats, and there's always something different out there. And even if you're sailing the same boat, every day is different anyway. So never feels that repetitive or that mundane. There's always something different to get into.
Some of the best Finn sailors in the world gathered in Porto, with many medals in Olympic Games and America's Cup between them. Competing alongside them were legendary sailors like Spain's Geraldo Seelinger, who first competed in the Finn event at the 1972 Summer Olympics, as well as being president of the Finn class for 18 years.
Historically, I think the best Finn sailors became a medalist when they were between 28 and 35 years old, Valentin Mankin, José Dorete, etc., etc. But now we have a new generation coming from the laser. And I think that is the beauty of the Finn, because you start with the Optimist, then you move to the laser, then you move to the Finn, and from there you move to the America's Cup, you move to the Volvo Ocean Race, you move to the Vendée Globe, to all these international regattas. It is a very logical step upwards from the Optimist to the America's Cup, and it's a chain, a part of the chain which we cannot miss.
Over the last year, sporting events around the world have been affected by the global outbreak of COVID-19. Sailing and the Finn class haven't been immune to the impact from the pandemic, with major international events postponed. Porto and the organisers from BBDouro and Douro Marina did their best to ensure that safety for all was guaranteed. and that all the legal and sanitary requirements were rigorous in order to launch a very demanding international event.
Yeah, it's really important for us to be back racing at the Finn Gold Cup after 2 years break. One missed out the Gold Cup last year, so we haven't raced in the Gold Cup since Melbourne 2019. So it's wonderful to be back, and it's my first major championship since the pandemic started. So yeah, great to be back racing with the boys.
But it's time for the race to start and for some great sailing to unfold.
Let's start the race. Vamos começar as regatas.
With 52 sailors registered across a total of 31 countries, the 2021 Porto Finn Gold Cup kicked off with light to medium winds and constant changes in the pole position over the 3 races sailed. Luke Muller, the American representative at Tokyo 2020, won the first race, while the second race of the day was dominated almost entirely by Spanish sailors. Juan Cardona came in first, with New Zealander Andy Maloney coming in second position, ahead of Spain's Alejandro Muscat. European champion Hungarian sailor Zomba Berec won the last race of the day, leaving Spaniard Juan Cardona and Argentine Facundo Aleza to take the second and third positions.
In fact, this is the last regatta before the Olympics, so finally we also have the Kiwis, who are the defending champion now of the Gold Cup. So I think this is the last final test before the Olympic Games, so everybody will bring the best what he can, and will be a good measure point, I think, before the Games.
The US's Luke Muller scored a bullet in the starting race of the regatta, proving his great condition just weeks before Tokyo. The American is preparing for his first Olympic Games and feels a profound responsibility to represent the US sailing community.
Yeah, so this is my last major competition before my first Olympic Games appearance, and I worked really hard back in the US to improve my skills in preparation for this event, and came a few weeks early to Porto and try to test out the conditions and make sure everything was good. I had a lot of fun training against my training partners, and I felt really solid coming into the event, and hopefully I can finish strong on the last day.
The following 2 days, Atlantic storms combined with huge ocean waves meant that it wasn't safe to return to the sea. Racing was cancelled, with the waves battering the harbour entrance in the afternoon after the complete lack of wind that morning following overnight storms.
We're looking to have at least one race. The limitations that we have is that currently there's very little wind. By midday, 1 o'clock, the wind should be filling in, and we're expecting anything between 10 and 14 knots this afternoon from a west-northwest direction. However, a big feature on the racecourse today and at the harbour entrance is a 3-metre swell, which is causing some concern for the harbour authorities about the safety of the fleet getting in and out of the harbour.
The third day, sailors waited for several hours at sea, but unfavourable wind conditions did not allow the 3 races scheduled for the day.
Well, today we went out early. The last few days we've had some big seaway. It was forecast to be 3 metres. I think, well, today it felt bigger than 3 metres, but it might have been 3 metres. Either way, it was very big out there, and the wind was very shifty. Lots of rain squalls coming through, wind shifting through about 100 degrees almost. And it really made the racing impossible for the race officers to get anything away. The wind dropped towards the end, and unfortunately we lost the window with the outwash of the river and the harbour entrance here, getting a bit too dangerous. So yeah, we're in early, no racing.
The sailors used this break to relax, and it was a good chance for them to discuss their thoughts regarding the future of the class at the Olympics. It turned to wider conversations regarding the Paris 2024 events. Many of the sailors are reflecting on the current state of the process, especially in regard to the Finn Olympic status.
Now, they should definitely keep the Finn in the Olympics. It's right now I think it's one of the classes with the absolute highest competition level of competition, and it's the only class for men over 85 kilos to race. With such a depth in the class on the guys, there are 2 meter tall and the guys are a bit wider on the shoulders. So yeah, I'm sad to see it goes if they make that decision final, and they will lose a great dinghy and a great maker of big sailing names.
I think the Finn now have a lot of young guys coming, and they are expecting to be living the Olympic dream in some ways. And it would be a shame if the boat is not there anymore. But we have also to look forward and see what is going on around us. And in some ways, the Finn is looking a little bit old school, but it's also the heart of the sailing.
There's obviously the world sailing is in a bit of a mess right now with what's happened with the classes, and in honesty, from a sailor's point of view, the way it's been handled is, well, it's disastrous really. It's in a tricky spot now, and yeah, there is still a chance, I think, that the Finn can remain in the Olympic Games, and obviously I hope that's the case. But I think the fundamental thing that world sailing have to get right is that the classes have to represent the people that sail, and you know, we're, as Finn sailors, as bigger single-handed sailors, we're a big part of the greater sailing population that needs to be represented in the Olympic Games. And if some of the submissions go through that have been put forward that exclude the Finn, I think that's going to be a bit of a travesty.
So I started sailing Finns in 2014, the first year of my university. I started sailing the Finn because I was simply too big for the laser. And that's really why it's a shame that the Finn is being taken out of the Olympics, because it takes away the option of participating in the Olympic Games for an entire weight class. The reason why a lot of Finn sailors sail the Finn is simply because it's suited to their body type, and it'd really be a shame for an entire class of athlete to be removed from the Olympic Games in sailing.
After no racing for 2 days, everyone was happy to get racing again in a day with a variety of weather conditions. It was a day of thirds, with a very gentle opening race of 6 to 8 knots, followed by clearing skies and a slightly tougher race of 12 to 14 knots, before finally clouding over and picking up to 14 to 16 knots in the final race. New Zealand's Andy Maloney extended his lead to go ahead by 5 points into the final day. In the very light first race, Brazil's Jorge Zarif scored a bullet. Winner of the second race of the day was Nenad Bugarin from Croatia, while in the third race, Junior and his compatriot Maloney did the 1-2.
Yeah, it was great to be at the front of the fleet with Josh for the first race of this event, you know, and to cross the finish line 1-2 is really cool, and something that we obviously strive to do every race, so it's cool to do it.
Kiwis Maloney and Junior were sailing their first major Finn regatta for 15 months after time out for the America's Cup and Sail GP, so their performance was particularly impressive as they prepare for the Olympics.
You know, today's the 4th day of the Finn Gold Cup, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty awesome day with onshore breezes and sort of 10 knots, so yeah, can't wait to get out there. Hopefully we get 3 races in and catch up a bit. I guess Andy and I have just jumped back into the Finn after the America's Cup, so we're just looking to check in where we are with the fleet and how everyone's developed, and you know, where we can improve looking forward to the Olympic Games. So yeah, we're just checking where we are and trying to race as well as we can.
At the same time, the Tokyo 2020 European Continental Qualifier was heading for a nail-biting conclusion, with 4 sailors inside the top 10. Spain's Juan Cardano was 4th, but only 6 points ahead of Croatia's Nenad Bugarin. while the European bronze medalist Nils Teunig from Switzerland was in 9th place, a further 17 points back. On the final day, everyone awaited a close and intense battle for the last ticket.
We are on the last day of the championship, still 3 more races to finish the regatta, and happy with my position so far. I think still is everything open to qualify, and also quite close to the podium, I believe. So everything is still open, and I believe if I do my best today, that everything gonna end up well.
Yes, today is the day. It's the day I've been waiting for the last 4 years. All my training has been focused on today and this championship, and I'm very looking forward to it. I feel very confident, and yeah, the main goal is to achieve the Olympic ticket for Spain, and then if we get a medal in the Worlds, it would be amazing also.
The day was full of close battles and great sailing moments, with the title open until the very last race. Andy Maloney led the 2021 Porto Finn Gold Cup from the first to the last day, despite a brief loss of the lead midway, and did just enough to take the cup away from his teammate Josh Jr., who won in 2019 and this year finished 3rd.
Oh, it's just awesome to win the Finn Gold Cup. You know, I haven't won an Olympic class world championship before, so for me this is my first one, and it just feels amazing. The conditions all week were really tricky, you know, lots of current and lots of big shifts. So it feels pretty good to have it done. Yeah, no, Josh, you know, he sailed well all week, and it's awesome to have him on the podium alongside me. You know, it would have been nice if he could have pipped the Spanish guy and got onto 2nd, but you know, to have Kiwis 1 and 3, that's really cool. And you know, we're always striving to be 1 and 2 in the world, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what a day. I mean, this was the last day of the Finn Gold Cup. Both Andy and I were in the mix coming into it, and Andy came away with the win, which is super exciting, and I managed to finish 3rd. So overall, we're wrapped, and we couldn't have expected any more, so super happy.
It took 63 years for New Zealand to win its first Finn Gold Cup, and now 2 have come along in a row. The Kiwis were the ones who best adapted to the difficult conditions imposed by the Atlantic in the 4 days of competition of the Finn Class World Championship.
You know, yeah, New Zealand, you know, we had never won the Finn Gold Cup before Josh did it last in 2019 in Melbourne. So, you know, to win it now and to keep it in New Zealand, it's pretty cool.
At the same time, Juan Cardano fought hard against Bulgarian and took the silver medal, as well as winning the last European Continental Qualifier and selection for Spain in Tokyo. Leo Davis also qualified South Africa for Tokyo in the African Continental Qualifier.
Yes, the day was quite difficult. It was super tricky out there, and we had some rain also in the morning, and it was not easy, but I managed to have a good day overall and get the spot for Spain, so I'm very happy. We are the last country to get the spot. I think we are very good prepared. We work really hard as a team. I really hope the best is yet to come in Tokyo, and I'll give my best for it.
Due to COVID restrictions, a fairly simple prize-giving ceremony took place to conclude the event, with the champions holding their trophies aloft, accompanied by the applause of their friends. At the same time, the championship was environmentally friendly, with the organisers awarded the world's only sustainability certification for water-based events, with the Sailors for the Sea prize.
A World Championship is always an event with mixed feelings, but the common factor on the winners and the not winners is that everyone is very happy. Everyone loved the Douro Marina, the staff and the team that run the event on the water and the races. Porto delivered great conditions, great sailing conditions, challenging, very challenging. But we can have no better reward than people that were not going to stay in Porto after the event are now going to stay in Porto and in Douro Marina after the event to prepare themselves for the Tokyo Olympic Games. So happy days.
With 9 races completed, the world elite of the Finn class said goodbye to BBDouro and Douro Marina. after an intense week of competition and several days of exploring the cities of Porto, Matosinhos and Vila Nova de Gaia. Next stop for the Finn class is the Olympics for Tokyo 2020.